Hello. So, over the course of the past few months, a bunch of new combos has been found to optimize Skirk's damage, and in this video we will take a look at the different combos, how to perform them on every input device, and common mistakes that a lot of people struggle with when learning the combo. So let's get started right away. There's mainly two different variants of the combo, one with walk cancels and one without them. They perform very similarly, and the variant without the walk cancels is easier to do, so that's what most of the video will be about. I will also teach you the walk cancel combo at the end of the video, but in my opinion it's not worth the hassle for most people. But before going into the combo itself, there are three very important things to keep in mind when doing the combo. First, you absolutely need to not hold any movement keys during the combo. For some characters, holding forward allows you to cut through some animations, but for Skirk it's the opposite. If you hold any direction during her dash, it will make it a lot longer and will prevent you from hitting the combo. So keep your fingers away from these movement keys. Secondly, we need to talk about clicking speed. There is a misconception that you need to click at inhumanly fast speeds to hit this combo, and while there is some truth to that, clicking faster does make the combo easier, there is something that matters even more than clicking fast, and this is how long you hold the click. Skirk is really eager to do charge attacks, and every time you hold the left click even a tiny bit, she's hesitating between doing a normal attack or starting a charged one, and this hesitation delays your normal attacks. So ideally, you want to release the click as early as possible, and you can see that if I do very light taps, I can still hit the combo despite not clicking very fast. And thirdly, Skirk is very dependent on FPS. Skirk's animations are faster the higher your frame rate is, so if your device can't consistently get 60 FPS even with all of the graphics settings at the minimum, well, unfortunately you'll have to accept that you will get less hits in total. This does also mean that technically 120 FPS allows you to get more hits, but currently only iPhones and iPads officially support 120 FPS, and using third-party tools to unlock the FPS limit is against the terms of service. So we will not talk about this in this video, and all of the footage you will see will be at 60 FPS. The good news though is that this combo is not affected by ping, so you can hit it just fine even if you live a bit far from the servers. Alright, after all of this yapping, let's finally get to the combo itself. The cool thing with this combo is that we pretty much only have to learn one tech, N2 cancels. The animation of the second normal attack can be cancelled very early, and because of that, the strongest combo is to spam two normal attacks into a dash as much as possible. However, when you dash 2 times in a quick succession, it goes into cooldown, and because of that, we need to fill in the gaps with other actions. So the main combo of this video will look something like this. We do 2 N2Ds, then cancel the next N2 with the burst this time, after that we can do 2 more N2Ds, then we do an N5 into a dash cancel, and another N2D, and here the dash is back on cooldown, so we fill in this time with an N2 into a charged attack, and then we can do 2 more N2Ds before finishing the combo with one last N5. Technically, if you do everything perfectly, you can get an extra N2 at the end even at 60 FPS, but it is really hard to do, so for the rest of this video, I will just assume that it doesn't exist. Also, if you want to get the charge attack out as fast as possible, you'll have to start buffering the charge attack just as your N2 is about to start. The timing for it is a little bit earlier than it looks like. Now that we have the combo, let's take a look at how to do it on each input method. First, let's start with the mouse. Personally, I like to do it with butterfly clicking, so by using 2 fingers on the left click. We will look at other ways too, but let's start with this one. I also highly recommend dashing with shift so that your right hand is entirely focused on clicking. And once again, clicking fast is good, but you also need to make sure that the clicks are as light as possible. Anyway, this is what the combo looks like with butterfly clicking. But if you don't want to butterfly, I actually managed to get very similar results with what I like to call the flapping technique. In this combo, the most important part is to get the N2s quickly, and as it turns out, the N2 does have a pretty generous buffer. So what we're gonna do is that we're just going to lightly tap the click 3 or 4 times after each dash, and this should consistently buffer the N2. Then we just have to focus on dash cancelling the N2 as early as possible, and for the N5, if you really want to optimize it, technically you can double click towards the end of the N2, N3 and N4 animations to get the N5 out faster. I'm not doing it here though, I'm just randomly clicking like an idiot, but I'm still consistently getting the N5. A lot of people also like to rebind the left click to the scroll wheel, which is perfect for fast and light clicks. But in order to do that, you need to use a third-party tool, which is technically against the terms of service. So it's up to you to decide if you're willing to take the risk. And finally, I heavily recommend against jitter clicking. It does work, but jitter clicking can genuinely hurt your hand, and I would say that developing carpal tunnel to get a 5% damage increase in Genshin impact is probably not worth it. Alright, now let's move over to controller, and I actually found it surprisingly easy to do on the controller. For controllers, since we don't have to move during the combo, I found it very easy to just butterfly on the attack button with my left hand and dash with my right one. So this is how the combo looks like on controller. But if you prefer to do the combo with a more conventional grip, you can also use the buffer technique I showed earlier with the mouse, but just do the same thing on the controller. And for mobile, I struggled a bit more with it. I felt that just tapping with a thumb was a bit slow and the buttons are too small to use 2 fingers, but since we don't need to move during this combo, I got the best results by moving my left hand over to the attack command and using the flapping technique to attack, and this frees up my right hand to comfortably do the dashes without having to move my index finger. So that's it for the main combo of this video, but as I said at the beginning, let's quickly talk about the walk cancel combos. I don't consider them worth it because of how close they are to the main combos while being a bit harder, but it doesn't hurt to try them. The main difference between this combo and the other one is that instead of doing N5 when our dash is on cooldown, we do an N3 into a walk cancel. For this combo, I will only be showcasing mouse and keyboard because that's what I'm most comfortable with. So this is what the walk cancel combo looks like. And finally, before ending the video, if you can't hit any of those combos but want to deal more damage than mindlessly spamming normal attacks, here's a much easier variant that is still significantly better than just spamming normal attacks. Anyway, that was it for this video. I hope this will help some of you learn the new Skirk combos. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye!